We're working today with word problems, and these word problems uses a system of equations in order to solve. So I can either solve using substitution or elimination method. Any algebraic approach would work. I'm going to be doing homework problem number 5 and 8. Please pause me to make sure that you do this problem first, and then you can watch me solve it and compare your answer. Just be very mindful that there's more than one way of solving this, and I want to make sure that as long as we get the same answer, there's many different ways that we can solve this. So let's take a look at question number 5. A dealer sold 200 tennis rackets. Some are $18 each, and the rest are sold at $33 each. The total receipts from these sales are $4,800. How many did he sell at $18 each? Very first thing I have to do is my let statement. So I'm talking about different tennis rackets. I have two different kinds of tennis rackets. I have an $18 racket, and then I have a $33 racket. So again, I'm just going to do my let statement. And I have no idea, I'll just make the least expensive one 18 and the most expensive racket Y. So one is X and one is Y. Okay, now let's read the question. I sold 200 tennis rackets in total. So I know that X plus Y is 200. This is the number that I sold. My $18 racket is going to be 18 times X, and my $33 racket, 33 times Y, their total sales were $4,800. So this is going to be the setup that I show for both of these equations. Now you have to think, how can you solve, either using substitution or elimination. Personally, these numbers are quite large. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the X plus Y equals 200, and I'm going to subtract Y from both sides and solve for X. And I'm going to apply using the substitution method. So that's the way I'm going to go about this, using substitution. If you want to use elimination, that is fine. Okay, so let's see. Every time now I see an X, I am going to substitute in 200 minus Y. So I'm going to have 200 minus Y, 18 times 200 minus Y plus 33Y equals $4,800. I'm using that second equation, and every time I see the X, I am substituting in Y. Now I'm going to distribute the 18, and I get 3,600 minus 18Y plus 33Y equals 4,800. Combine your like terms because now I only have one variable. So I have 3,600 plus 15Y equals 4,800. Subtract 3,600 from both sides. I have 15Y to equal 1,200. Divide both sides by 15. And I get Y to equal 80. Again, if you get a decimal, you can't have part of a racket, so that wouldn't make sense. So I know that my Y was 80. So I have 80 rackets totaled at $33. Again, X plus Y had to equal 200. So now I'm going to substitute the 80 in for the Y, which means that X has to equal 120. And again, please put this back into your let statement so I know what I'm talking about. Now, we're not quite done yet. I do have my let statement all set up. I do have everything here. I've put in my answers. Let's just check it using that bottom equation. So now I'm going to do the check. And I have 18x plus 33y equals 4,800. So I have 18 times 120 plus 33 times 80 does equal 4,800. And again, just take the time to do the check, because that will make sure that we are correct. So 18 times 120 is 2,160. 33 times 80 is 2,640. Is that going to equal my 4,800? And sure enough, it does work. So this is how I know I am correct. I got whole numbers, which would resemble the bracket, and I know I am correct, and that is my correct solution set for that word problem. Okay, let's go on to number 8 now. And again, please try this one on your own. And you can pause me and then start this back up again. Tickets for admission to a high school football game cost $3 for students and $5 for adults. During one game, $2,995 was collected from the sale of 729 tickets. How many tickets were sold to the students and to the adults? So my let's statement, I have two kinds of tickets. I have student ticket and I have adult ticket. When I can, I like to use variables that for me would make sense, so I'm going to let S equal the student tickets and A equal the adult tickets. That way I do not forget what I am trying to find. So once I solve for one, I know exactly what I'm going to do. And again, I like to put the dollars here, so a student ticket is $3, my adult ticket is $5. That's informational for me, so I know the price of each ticket. Okay, let's see what information they gave me. I know I had a sale of 729 tickets. So students plus adults equals 729. I also know that I collected $2,995. So if I do $3 times the number of student tickets plus $5 times the number of adult tickets, I am going to come up with an amount of $2,995. So this is my systems of equations that I need to solve. Now, when I look at the numbers are not terribly large, so I think I will solve this one using elimination. And what I decided to do is I am going to multiply the top one by a -3 to eliminate the s's. So when I rewrite this, I'm distributing the -3. I have -3s minus 3a to equal a -2,187. And then I rewrite the bottom equation, 3s plus 5a equals 2,995. When I add these two equations together, the s's cancel each other out, and I'm left with 2a to equal 808. Divide both sides by 2, and I get a to equal 404 tickets. So that means I sold 404 adult tickets. Okay, let us now go back to find students. So student plus adult equals 729. And if I sold 404 adult tickets, I am now going to solve for student. And I get the number of student tickets to equal 325. So again, I'm going to now put this into my let statement, and I have to do a check. Again, make sure 325 plus 404 does equal the 729. I'm going to check the money one now. So I have 3s plus 5a. Does that equal 2,995? So 3 times my student tickets is 325. 5 times my adult of 404. Well, I'm going to run out of room. Does that equal 2,995? So let's do the math. 325 times 3, 975. 404 times 5 is 2,020. Does that equal the 2,995? And it does. 2,995 does check out. Again, make sure that you put all of your answers in my let statement, and you box this in so I can see it. And again, you could have done substitution with this one. Whichever method you like and you're more comfortable with, it's your choice. You can do whichever method you like. Just remember, you should not get negative numbers in real life situations. I cannot sell negative number of tickets, and I cannot sell a fraction of a ticket either, so make sure you come up with nice whole numbers.